Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 12, Verse 4. Sutta Vacha Apipala Dharma Raja Pitruvadranjayam Praja Niksprukha Sarva Kamebhya Krishna Padhanusevaya Sutta Vacha Apipala Dharma Raja Pitruvadranjayam Praja Niksprukha Sarva Kamebhya Krishna Padhanusevaya. Sutta Uvacha Apipala Dharma Raja Pitruvadranjayam Praja Niksprukha Sarva Kamebhya Krishna Padhanusevaya. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay, His Divine Grace, Abhay Charnarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Synonyms. Sutta Uvacha. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, Api Palat, administered prosperity. Dharma Raja, King Yudhishthira. Pitruvat, exactly like his father. Ranjayan, pleasing. Praja, all those who took birth. Nispruha, without personal ambition. Sarva, all. Kamebhya, from sense gratification. Krishna Pada, the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. Anusevaya, by dint of rendering continuous service. Translation, please repeat after me. Sri Suta Goswami said, Emperor Yudhishthira administered generously to everyone during his reign. He was exactly like his father. He had no personal ambition and was freed from all sorts of sense gratification. Because of his continuous service unto the lotus feet of the Lord Sri Krishna. Purport. As mentioned in our introduction, there is a need for the signs of Krishna in human society for all the suffering humanity of the world. And we simply request that leading personalities of all nations to take to the signs of Krishna for their own good, for the good of society, and for the good of all the people of the world. So, it is confirmed herein by the example of Maharaja Yudhishthira, the personality of goodness. In India, the people hanker after Rama Rajya because the personality of God was the ideal king, and all other kings or emperors in India controlled the destiny of the world for the prosperity of every living being who took birth on the earth. Herein the word praja is significant. The etymological import of the word is that which is born. On the earth, there are many species of life, from the aquatics up to the perfect human being, and all are known as prajas. Lord Brahma, the creator of this particular universe, is known as the Prajapati because he is the grandfather of all who have taken birth. Thus, Praja is used in a broader sense than it is now used. The king represents all living beings, the aquatics, plants, trees, reptiles, birds, animals, and man. Every one of them is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verse 4. And the king, being the representative of the Supreme Lord, is duty bound to give proper protection to every one of them. This is not the case with the presidents and dictators of this demoralized system of administration, where the lower animals are given no protection, while the higher animals are given so-called protection. But this is a great science which can be learned only by one who knows the science of Krishna. By knowing the science of Krishna, one can become the most perfect man in the world. And unless one has knowledge in this science, all qualifications and decorate diplomas acquired by academic education are spoiled and useless. Maharaja Yudhishthira knew this science of Krishna very well, for it is stated here that by continuous cultivation of this science, or by continuous devotional service to Krishna, Lord Krishna, he acquired the qualification of administering the state. The father is sometimes seemingly cruel to the son, but that does not mean that the father has lost the qualification to be a father. A father is always a father because he always has the good of the son at heart. The father wants every one of his sons to become a better man than himself. Therefore, a king like Maharaja Yudhishthira, who was the personality of goodness, wanted everyone under his administration, especially human beings who have better developed consciousness, to become devotees of Lord Krishna, so that everyone can become free from the trifles of material existence. His motto of administration was all good for the citizens, for as personified goodness, he knew perfectly well what is actually good for them. He conducted the administration on that principle and not on the Rakshasi demonic principle of sense gratification. As an ideal king, he had no personal ambition and there was no place for sense gratification because all his senses at all times were engaged in the loving service of the Supreme Lord, which includes the partial service to the living being, who form the parts and parcels of the complete whole. Those who are busy rendering service to the parts and parcels, leaving aside the whole, only spoil time and energy, as one does even watering the leaves of a tree without watering the root. If water is poured on the root, the leaves are enlivened perfectly and automatically. But if water is poured on the leaves only, the whole energy is spoiled. Maharaja Yudhishthira, therefore, was constantly engaged in the service of the Lord. And thus, the parts and parcels of the Lord, the living beings, under his careful administration, were perfectly attended with all comforts in this life and all progress in the next. That is the way of perfect management of state administration. Hari Om Tat. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namaha Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pataka Swamin Yedena Namo Acharya Padaya Nitaya Kripa Pradayine Kaurakata Damadhaya Nagara Grama Tarine Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadhe Paschatya Desatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasade Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Srimad Sudanam Mukam Karodi Vachalam Pangulam Gaite Girimat Kripatama Mande Sri Gurum Devi Charinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
So, this is yet another verse where the value of devotional service is described in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, chapter 12, verse 4. Sutta Goswami is speaking how Emperor Yudhishthira was engaged in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This shows that if one wants to even execute their Varnashrama Dharma principles, still they have to perform devotional service to Krishna because Samsiddhir Haritoshanam, ultimate goal of life of performing any kind of occupational duties is to please Krishna. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. So this is the process of devotional service. Krishna says Bhaktyam Mama Vijanati, which means that by performing devotional service, one can understand the pastimes of Krishna. And one who understands the pastimes of Krishna is all transcendental and his appearance is also transcendental. He will not have another birth in the material world which is full of sufferings upon giving up the present life or body. So, Suta Goswami is telling, Apipala Dharma Raja, Pitruvad Ranjayam Praja, Nispruha Sarva Khamebhya, Krishna Padanu Sevaya. So, Sri Suta Goswami is telling, Emperor Yudhishthira administered generously to everyone during his reign. He was exactly like his father. He had no personal ambition and was freed from all sorts of sense gratification because of his continuous service unto the lower feet of the Lord Sri Krishna. So, Yudhishthira Maharaja's father was Pandu, who has perfectly performed his reign as a father to all the citizens. A citizen include animals, aquatics, plants, trees, everything. Every living entity under his jurisdiction is called a living entity, or all his sons. And king is like a father. That is the reason why we say king is the representation of the supreme personality of Godhead. So, how is it possible to give the necessity to every human being as being a king? How is it possible to take care of the members of the family happily, keeping them in a very happy and satisfied position, and as well as progressing them through the goal of life by head of a family or king of the country or the entire planet? Yudhishthira was the king of the whole planet Earth. So this is only possible when he, the leader, the head, is continuously performing devotional service to Krishna. As long as one is performing devotional service to Krishna, then he need not separately hanker for work for anything else. It is like when you have $100 in your hand, for $1 you don't need to go and work hard anywhere. $1 is there within the $100. So when you perform devotional service to Krishna out of affection, out of love for Krishna, and not with expectation of anything material, gross or subtle, then you achieve the ultimate objective of love for Krishna and have become qualified to enter into the abode of Krishna, which is Goloka Vrindavana. This top secret is given free of cost, without any discrimination as to who is qualified and who is not, by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar Pandit, and Srivas Thakura. The Panchatattvas are very glorious because they were the one who distributed love for God or love for Krishna. Otherwise, these terms are foreign terms and unknown terms in the life of a human being, whether he is a so-called devotee or, whether he's an atheist or theist. But beautifully explained in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam is that a devotee's ornament is performing devotional service. Who does not want to wear ornaments and beautify oneself, you tell me? Nobody is like that. We want to decorate ourselves so nicely, presentable, if anybody sees, they should become very happy and they should follow. Yeah, this person is very enthusiastic, very clean, very good looking, nicely speaking, very wonderful, knowledgeable person. Every speech of him, it gives some kind of, eye-opening or, transformation in the heart. Who does not want to be attracted to such persons? And such persons are the devotees of the Lord. And their ornaments to decorate their body is their devotional service of Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the beginning of the Shravanam as well as Kirtanam of Lord Krishna. So this is the beauty. There are two types of devotees. One is called Sakama Bhakta, another is called Akama Bhakta. The Sakama Bhakta are those who want to perform devotional service. At the same time, they are asking for material benediction. Give me good wife, give me beautiful wife, give me wealth, give me this, give me that. I mean, they may not ask directly like that, but then they have the desire. And when the Lord asking, please ask for a boon, they will break open the heart of the Lord by asking something material, and the Lord though sanctions, but he will regret that why this devotee is performing devotion service and is asking for something material. But nevertheless, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is supremely intelligent. So, because a person who is asking for material benediction by performing devotion service, he is a fool. Like demigods, they ask for killing Vritasura, killing Hiranyakashipu, and they perform devotional service. And when the Lord comes, the Lord becomes very pleased by the prayers that they offer. The Lord immediately wants to give them pure, unalloyed, loving devotional service, but he wants them to ask for it because he has given the free will. And when he asks, okay, please, I am very pleased with your all prayers. You are getting together, chanting my holy name, and you have really purchased me. Come on, ask me for a boon. Then they will tell, please kill Vritasura, please kill Hiranyakashipu, please kill this Rakshasa, please kill this Asura. The Lord will be very regretted that why these people are not asking for pure, unalloyed, loving devotional service. But nevertheless, if a person who is asking for material benediction in exchange for his performance of devotional service is a fool, similarly, if anyone who is benedicting the person for material, for any prayers that the living entity wants, he is also a fool. But Supreme Lord Krishna is supremely intelligent. Then what does he do when they want the benedictions material? Because the Lord is intelligent, he will not perform foolish activity by sanctioning the desire of the Sakama Bhakta. Rather, he will act in such a way that this particular person will forget the material demands, and he will be attracted to pure, unalloyed, loving devotional service to Krishna. This is called caring. The real affection of the Father is exhibited in such exchange of love. Even though the living entity, after performing devotional service, he asks for something material, the Lord forcibly gives his lotus feet to that particular devotee, and he makes him forget the material benedictions and material things and the desires. And then he awakens in the heart of the devotee to perform pure, loving devotion service, just like Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj, he went and he did so much of tapasya, austerity. Nobody, even a great personalities and great rishis cannot do so much that in 5-year-old boy, small, tender age, tender body he had. And with that, he conducted such a performance of devotion service that, the Lord within the heart has manifested to his vicinity, and he come out from his heart and stood in front of the Dhruva Maharaj. Ask me for a boon. And then Dhruva Maharaj felt so shy that what is that I came here for, performing this devotion service. After seeing Krishna, Dhruva Maharaj has changed his attitude, his mentality, his demands, everything. Varamna yache. I don't have anything to ask from you, my Lord. I am a fool that I came to perform devotion service in exchange of something. You are giving me diamond in front of me and I'm asking for a piece of a glass. No, I'm sorry. I don't want. So, by simple mere appearance of the Lord, by dint of the devotion service, the devotee loses his material hankering automatically. It is not that the Lord will immediately bestow with all kind of material to him. No, because Sakama Bhakta are fools, though they are demigods. because they are performing devotion service. But then they're asking for material benediction. So any devotee who is asking for material benefits in exchange to devotional service is a fool. And anybody is giving such thing is also a fool. But Krishna is supremely intelligent, so he doesn't give that when they ask for the material. Rather, he make him forget that material desire. That is the beauty of Krishna. This is called true well-wishing. So a king like Yudhishthira is of that kind of personality who can perfectly represent the supreme personality of Godhead, because for every citizen, he is able to serve nicely for their well-being, spiritual well-being. How it is possible? It is possible only when he is performing devotional service continuously. Continuously, that is the beauty. So, if you can see, Prabhupada is elaborating on the term praja in this particular purport, which means that not just a human being alone. So, it is also all the aquatics, plants, trees, reptiles, birds, animals, and man. Every one of them are part and parcel of Krishna, and the Yudhishthira Maharaj here is the representative of the Supreme Lord. And because he is the representative of Supreme Lord, he is duty bound to give proper protection to every one of them. So today's so-called presidents and directors and the leaders in the demoralized system of administration, these things are not understood. Because they, instead of giving protection to the lower animals, they run slaughterhouses. And then they give protection to so-called protection to very higher animals. So this is, cannot be understood by the one who does not know the science of Krishna. Science of Krishna can be understood by simply performing devotional service. There are 9 processes of devotional service to understand science of Krishna, to understand the pastimes, activities of Lord Sri Krishna, and it all begins from Shravanam and Kirtanam. Either one performs all 9 devotional service, or 2 or 3, or even 1. They are all equally benefited. This is the beauty of science of Krishna. So by knowing science of Krishna, one can become the most perfect man in the world. And unless otherwise one has the knowledge in the science of Krishna, any qualification or any diplomas, any kind of doctoration, acquired through this academic education, they are all spoiled and useless. They are decorating the dead body. But the real decoration to a particular personality, a jiva, a living entity, is the ornaments of devotional service. Yesterday, Guru Maharaj was talking about the conversation between the glorification of each other by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda. When Lord Chaitanya was circumambulating Sri Nityananda Prabhu and is glorifying Nityananda Prabhu as a personified love and affection of Krishna. So he is the personified love and affection of Krishna, and by dint of his love and affection, he has purchased Krishna to fully. Krishna, though being the supreme controller, is controlled by Nityananda Prabhu by dint of his love and affection. And a guru is the representative of that Nityananda Prabhu. So it is very important to get the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu or the representative of Nityananda Prabhu in order to understand the pastimes of Lord Krishna and in order to be accepted by Lord Krishna. So in this course, very beautifully, the exchanges were given. Lord Chaitanya was glorifying Lord Nityananda so much, and Nityananda in exchange was said, you can glorify me, you can circumambulate me, you can offer obeisances to me, or you can kill me, or you can protect me, because you are supremely independent and I am your eternal servant. In this way, Sri Nityananda Prabhu has surrendered himself to Lord Chaitanya. So, and then he is glorifying Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this way. So this is called the science of Krishna. Science of Krishna means engaging in the pure unalloyed loving devotion service of Krishna by chanting the holy name of Krishna. By chanting the holy name of Krishna and by, discussing or talking or reading or listening the pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for that reason. This is called science of Krishna. Science of Krishna is not knowledge. Science of Krishna is practical. The way you exist shows whether you know the science of Krishna or not. Devotees know science of Krishna so they can make disciples all over the world. One who knows science of Krishna is the qualified guru because he can represent Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu has been glorified by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the personified of the holy name of the Lord. That beautiful verses Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited while circumambulating Nityananda Prabhu. Very wonderful verses. And so first Nityananda Prabhu surrendered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then Nityananda Prabhu has glorified Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is the beautiful loving exchange between the devotee and the Lord. Nityananda Prabhu is direct extension, the first expansion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just like Balaram is the first expansion of Lord Krishna. So because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Krishna, Sri Nityananda Balarama is not different from Balaram. And Nityananda Prabhu is the guru of all the gurus. He possesses Krishna. So any guru in the disciplic succession, a bona fide spiritual master like our Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, they are all perfect representative of Lord Nityananda because they possess Krishna, they possess Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And they can give it to anybody at their own sweet free will. And without discriminating, Nityananda Prabhu has distributed that love of God, love of Krishna. So these are all the qualifications that is required to know science of Krishna. Means be engaged in devotional service. Know Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Know he is the source of all, both spiritual and material. And he has no any work, but he takes up one work voluntarily, that is devotee care. Because he said, Bhaktyama Bhavijanati and Name Bhakta Pranashyati. I am known through my pastimes can be understood through performing devotional service, and my devotees will never perish. These are all the statement of Lord Krishna. Otherwise, Krishna is the supreme controller and supreme enjoyer. So a king understands, an emperor understands the personality of Godhead, Krishna, as a supreme controller and provider and protector. So he performs devotional service to Krishna without cessation. Without cessation. That means what without cessation means? He is an ideal king. And without cessation means that he has no time for personal sense gratification. Because without cessation, his senses are engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. And in this way, he can serve. So, Prabhupada is giving a very beautiful analogy here. A king, the way he protects, the living entities or citizens is not direct. It's by dint of devotional service to Krishna. Watering the root is very important. Watering the leaves will not yield the result of watering the root. Watering the leaves will be waste of energy, waste of time, and futile attempt. A foolish person only would do that. But Parikshit Maharaj or Yudhishthira Maharaj, like kings, they water the root. How they take care of the citizen, how they protect and serve the citizens? By serving the Lord, by serving Krishna. Because they know all the living entities are part and parcel of Krishna. I know all the leaves belong to this one tree. So I have to water the root. Every leaf is kept, protected and provided. So they serve Krishna because all living entities are part and parcel of Krishna. Such a person is called a person who knows signs of Krishna, and he does not discriminate between animals and human beings and running slaughterhouse and sends gratification to the human beings. No, they won't do that. They will never ever do that. They consider every living entity to be part and parcel of Krishna. And the way to serve part and parcel of Krishna, you are a single person. How can you serve unlimited leaves, unlimited living entities in different species of life? There are many species of life on the planet here. So how can you serve all the species of life? By simply serving Krishna's lotus feet, who is the root of all the part and parcel. This is called the science of Krishna. They know the science of Krishna. And they practically were engaged. Yudhishthira Maharaj in this case is fully, constantly, constantly means, you see, this is constantly engaged in the service of the Lord. So in this way, the parts and parcel of the Lord automatically under the careful administration. So they have all the comfort in this life and all the progress in the next. So this is called management. Not putinati and politics is called management. By serving the root, that is the lotus feet of the Lord without cessation, you can manage, you can be the best of managers, you can be the best of benevolent administrators by simply serving the Lord without cessation. This is the beauty, and Yudhishthira Maharaj lived by example in this way. So, Gauranga, we'll go to the next verse. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 12, verse 5. Sampada kratavo loka.
Sampada kratavo loka.
Mahishi bharatharo mahi.
Mahishi bharataro mahi.
Jambudvipadhipatyam cha.
Jambudvipadhipatyam cha.
Yashascha tridevam gatam.
Yashascha tridipam gatam.
Sampada kratavo loka.
Sampada kratavo loka.
Mahishi bharataro mahi.
Mahishi bharataro mahi.
Jambudvipadhipatyam cha.
Jambudvipadhipatyam cha.
Yashascha tridevam gatam.
Yashascha tridevam gatam.
Sampada kratavo loka.
Sampada kratavo loka.
Mahishi Brataro Mahi.
Mahishi
brataro
mahi.
Jambudvipa Dipatyam cha.
Jambudvipadhipatyam cha.
Yashascha Divam Gatam.
Yashascha tridivam gatam. Synonyms: Sampada, opulence.
Sampada, opulence.
Kratava, sacrifices.
Kratava, sacrifices.
Loka, future destination.
Loka, future destination.
Mahishi, the queen.
Mahishi, the queen.
Bratara, the brothers.
Bratara, the brothers.
Mahi, the earth.
Mahi, the earth.
Jambudvipa, the globe or planet of our residence.
Jambudvipa, globe or planet of our residence.
Adhipatyam, sovereignty.
Adhipatyam, sovereignty.
Cha, also.
Cha, also.
Yasha, fame.
Yasha, fame.
Cha, and. Tridaivam, celestial planets.
Celestial planets.
Gatam, spread over.
Gatam spread over.
Gatam spread over.
Translation, please repeat after me. News even reached the celestial planets about Maharaja Yudhishthira's worldly possessions.
News even reached the
reached
celestial planets about Maharaja Yudhishthira's worldly
possessions.
The sacrifices by which he would attain a better destination.
The
sacrifice by which
attain a
he
better
would
destination.
attain a better destination.
His queen, his stalwart brothers, his extensive land, his sovereignty over the planet Earth, his fame, etc.
His queen, stalwart brothers, his extensive land, his sovereignty over the planet Earth, his fame, etc.
over the planet Earth, his fame, etc.
Purport.
Purport. Only a rich and great man's name and fame are known all over the world, and the name and fame of Maharaja Yudhishthira reached the higher planets because of his good administration, worldly possessions, glorious wife Draupadi, the strength of his brothers Bhima and Arjuna, and his solid sovereign power over the world known as Jambudvipa. Here, the word loka is significant. There are different lokas or higher planets scattered all over the sky, both material and spiritual. A person can reach them by dint of his work in the present life, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 9.25. No forceful entrance is allowed there. The tiny material scientists and engineers who have discovered vehicles to travel over a few thousand miles in outer space will not be allowed entrance. That is not the way to reach the better planets. One must qualify himself to enter into such happy planets by sacrifice and service. Those who are sinful in every step of life can expect only to be degraded into animal life, to suffer more and more the pangs of material existence. And this is also stated in Bhagavad Gita 16.19. Maharaja Yudhishthira's good sacrifices and qualifications were so lofty and virtuous that even the residents of the higher celestial planets were already prepared to receive him as one of them.
So this is another beautiful purport and a beautiful word here. That how Yudhishthira Maharaj was. You know, his fame is not only spread on the surface of the Jambudvipa, the Bhumandala, his name and fame have spread across different planetary system. It's not so ordinary. Huh? So, even to exist, if the name should reach there, you have to perform such sacrifices and purity that it's not possible by ordinary kings. And Maharaja Yudhishthira, name and fame and glories have reached even the higher planets. This is the result of his good administration, worldly possessions, glorious wife Draupadi, strength of his brothers, Bhima, Arjuna, his solid sovereignty power over the world, known as Jambudvipa. But all these things was already available to every king before and after. But their name and fame have not gone to upper planetary system. Then how Yudhishthira Maharaj was able to do that? By dint of devotional service. He performs his duty as an emperor also by performing devotional service to the lower spirit of Krishna. So, naturally that he has been looked upon by all the elderly personalities in different planetary systems. This is very, very important because name, fame, glory within a small sector, within a small society, within a small country, or even across globe. With the internet today, the name, fame, glories of unknown persons are everywhere, who has no qualifications, who has no quality. That is not name, fame, glory. Name, fame, glories are won when a qualified person is glorified. The glorifying person should be qualified, then that is called glory. Otherwise, it is insult. So, the so-called glories are really insult. And the real glory is when the person is also qualified, just like Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. Sukadeva Goswami is glorifying Lord Krishna's pastimes because Sukadeva Goswami is bona fide, means qualified. Bona fide means qualified. So that is why we have to hear all these things from the bona fide souls, qualified souls. Otherwise, it would be a futile attempt. So-called Bhagavata Sabdaga are going on imitating Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami in the 7 days and nights did not stop talking about Krishna, nor did Parikshit Maharaj stop hearing any moment. Not even a fraction of the second they have wasted. They did not go for sleep. They did not go for passing water. They did not go for drinking water. They did not go for eating. They did not take any break, whether tea break or lunch break, nothing. That is the way, without cessation, they performed the devotional service. This is qualification to be bona fide. And the so-called money earners in the name of Srimad Bhagavatam, name, fame, glory earners, they are running Bhagavata Shabdaha, 7 days. And in the 7 days, he will talk just for 2 hours. And he won't talk what is really given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. He directly jump into the 10th canto. So these are all the nonsensical thing, which is, poison. The milk touched by poison or touched by a snake should not be drunk. We should hear from the bona fide souls, qualified souls. Then that is true name, fame, glory. So glorifying means just narrating the activity, commenting the activities of a personality or the supreme personality. That is called a glorification. And it is not possible to enter into different planetary system here spread across the sky in all directions by simply manufacturing a Sputnik. That is not possible. The so-called, what you call, the poor fund of knowledge cannot take you with your own endeavor and materialistic attempt of constructing, okay, with aeroplane, I can fly in the sky, then with the Sputnik, why can't I go and land on another planet? This is called a speculation. Because there is no scientific approach. This is not scientific approach. This is a speculative approach, constructing a Sputnik, attempting to go to another planetary system, not even knowing how distant is that from the earth. And what is the path? You want to go to a place. You don't just enter jungle, right? You go to the place by looking at the map. Why Google is all over the world showing the map, the path to a particular place, but it cannot show you the path to the planet. It cannot show. So that is also imperfect. You can go to the different planet. There is a procedure, there is a path, there is a, your body is all your vehicle which you have to use. You may need to give it up here. Like in the space shuttle, one portion of the body is given up to enter into another sector. Like that, you have to give up your body to acquire new body. But the space satellites, they don't acquire another body. That is their imperfection. But here you will acquire. And then you can travel. There are ways and means. There is a book written by Srila Prabhupada, that easy journey to other planets. Not with a Sputnik and a discovered vehicle to travel over a few thousand miles in outer space. That will not allow you visa, entrance into the planet. And that is not the way to reach the better planets also. Actually, one has to qualify himself to enter into such happy planets by sacrifice and service. Now, Yudhishthira Maharaj's administration was so benevolent that his name, fame, glories have reached other planets without Sputnik. Just see. They came to know about Yudhishthira Maharaj. But those who are sinful, at every step, they are degraded into animal life only. And they will suffer more and more pangs of material existence, the threefold miseries, birth, death, old age, disease is all their assets. The so-called advancement of science and technology, they think it is advancement, but they are advancing in sense gratification by running slaughterhouses. Where is the protection to the praja? Where is their science is saving? Not only they don't see that we have to cross over that birth, death, old age, disease of others, they don't even protect the animals. They're killing instead of crossing over the death. They're killing the animals. They don't allow them to live also to their duration. And they cannot extend the duration, nor they can provide them the duration. So, Maharaja Yudhishthira's benevolent administration is by dint of his devotional service to Krishna. And by dint of his sacrifices and qualifications. Sacrifices are nothing but the devotional service to Krishna, and qualifications are that he is bona fide because he knows Krishna. He knows science of Krishna. A qualification means one who knows science of Krishna is said to be qualified and bona fide. So that is the reason why the residents of higher celestial planets were also prepared to receive him as one of them. They all hanker for, if the Yudhishthira Maharaj come into our planet, that would be very nice. This was the hankering of celestial planet residents to see. So anybody has any questions, comments, or realization, please do share with us. 5, 4, 3.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
प्रभु श्लोक 4 में दिया हुआ है प्रभु।
हरि बोल।
हाँ, यस प्रभु।
या श्लोक 4 में
किंतु आज की चरित्र विहीन प्रशासन पद्धतियों के राष्ट्रपति तथा तानाशाहों के साथ ऐसा नहीं है, जहां निम्न पशुओं को कोई सुरक्षा प्रदान नहीं की जाती, जबकि उच्चतर पशुओं को तथा कथित सुरक्षा प्रदान प्राप्त रहती है। लेकिन यह एक महान विज्ञान है। तो ये समझ में नहीं आता, ये विज्ञान कैसे है?
हाँ, ये जो विज्ञान है, ये विज्ञान वो ज्ञान है, कौन सा ज्ञान है कि जो जीव जंतु है, चाहे वो किसी जानवर की शरीर में पड़ा हो या किसी मनुष्य शरीर में हो या किसी देवताओं का शरीर में हो, लेकिन ये जो जीवा जो किसी ना किसी शरीर को जो प्राप्त करता है, वो भगवान श्री कृष्ण का अंग है।
यस प्रभु। ये
है अति उत्तम ज्ञान, और उस ज्ञान को प्राप्त करने के लिए एक भगवान कृष्ण का ज्ञान आवश्यकता है, यानी कि भक्ति, साइंस ऑफ कृष्णा। साइंस ऑफ कृष्णा को क्या लिखा है? एक सेंटेंस और पढ़िए।
लेकिन यह एक महान विज्ञान है जिसे कृष्ण तत्व जानने वाला ही सीख सकता है।
कृष्ण तत्व, जो कृष्ण तत्व को जानना है, तभी जाके ये महाज्ञान प्राप्त हो सकता है कि किस तरह वो किसी भी जीव को वो देखता है, किसी जानवर या कोई ब्राह्मण या कोई देवा, सबको बराबर देखने के लिए उसको कृष्ण तत्व का बारे में जानना आवश्यकता है। तो कृष्ण तत्व को कैसे जाना जाता है? भक्ति के जरिए जाना जाता है। भक्ति यानी हमारा हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र और ये जो भागवतम वगैरह है, ये इसको बोलते हैं कृष्ण तत्व। जो आप सीख रहे हैं ये हर रोज सुबह ये भागवतम क्लास में, इसको बोलते हैं कृष्ण तत्व। जब आप भगवद गीता का क्लास अटेंड करते हैं, जब शांतो गोपी जो शाम को 4 साढ़े 4 बजे से लेता है, वो कृष्ण तत्व है। और जब कृष्ण तत्व को हम प्राप्त कर लेते हैं, उसके बाद ये सब बड़ा ज्ञान जो है अपने आप ही प्राप्त हो जाता है। बहुत ही अच्छा सवाल, थैंक यू। 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you very much for the association. So we'll assemble tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock for the Srimad Bhagavatam class. So till then, Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
जय।
पतितपावन श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय।
पतितपावन श्रील गुरु महाराज की जय।
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 भगवत सत्संग की जय।
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 वैष्णव प्रणाम। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।